Peace, Morse. Peace and love to all the Moors. Hold up, let me bid this.
For his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin, because he is born of God.
Let me set this up. Let me set this up. Let me set this up, Morse. Let me set this up. Let me set this up, man. Let me set this up, Morse. Peace and love to all the mighty Moors. Y'all ready? I told y'all 12, but we had some technical difficulties, so I couldn't pull it at 12. But we gonna pop off right now, though. We gonna pop off right now. Let's get straight to it. You see what we cooking up. You know what I'm saying? A little something in the background. Shout out to Griselda. Let's get straight to it. Let's get straight to it. We gotta sound the horn off, man. You gotta sound the horn off. Wherever you at, you gotta sound the horn off. Peace and love to all the mighty Moors, man. Sound the horn off. The horn really already got sounded off. It's up to us. It's up to the Moors that know the light and see the light. Peace, Moor. It's up to the Moors that know the light and see the light, that can recognize what time it is right now. That's what it's about. It ain't about all that fuck shit. It ain't about all that self-gratification shit. It ain't about all that. It's about sharing the knowledge to the people so we can get out of this shit that we in right now. All the mighty Moors. Peace. You know, this what it's about. This what it's about. It ain't about self-gratification. It's about sounding the horn off so the masses could get out of this sleepy state where we in right now as a whole. That's what it's about. Shout out to all the Moors everywhere. Wherever you at. North, south, central. You know what I'm saying? Wherever you at. Overseas, wherever you at. This is what it's about. This is what it's about. It's about sharing that information to the masses. You know, this is what it's about. So I'm gonna get straight to it. I ain't gonna fuck around. I'm not finna play around with nothing. Cause I sent the word, I put the bomb out that Moors need like at least an hour, half an hour, wherever you at, to build on things that need to be addressed. Things that need to be addressed is everywhere. As far as civics, socially, politically, economically, everything relates to more science. So if you're not inside the information, then you're getting used by people who know the information, and they're not telling you. They're not telling you the information. And when I say you, I mean that plurally. I'm talking about our people. Our people run away from this like it's the coronavirus. Our people run away from shit like this like it's the coronavirus. Like it's AIDS or something. I call magistrates where they at. This is the joint where they at right here. So all the magistrates got this information. All them attorneys, they got this information. So where do we begin at? Where do we begin? Me doing my part? I'm going to kick it off right here. First off, you got to recognize who you up against. Let me turn this down, son. Turn that down, son. First off, if you dealing with grammar, you got to start dealing with what things are and what they not. There is no, well, I believe that they white people, and I believe that we ain't got no chance to ever change nothing. See, if you got that in your mind already, then you already part of the trap. You're already part of the trap. So listen, first off, who we dealing with? We dealing with Europeans and we dealing with Moors. There are no people on the planet Earth that go by crayon colors. All right? Europeans. These are Europeans that our people falsely call white man or white woman and cast spells out. So we first got to know who they are. This is why I'm kicking it off at right here. Because we be misidentifying these people and calling them white people. They're Europeans. Let's go. As you see, European, it's a noun. A native or inhabitant of Europe. A person of European descent of or relating to Europe or its peoples, languages, or cultures. Okay. Last time I checked, Europeans that y'all call white people, they're not of America. As you see right in the book, it says they're of European descent. So we got to start, if people be like, man, Kush, man, you know, the white man, they in control of America. They're only Europeans. They're not in control of the Americas. We got to get that part straight. That's why I'm doing my part right now, just to put this out there, because it's going to take all of us to get the information out to the masses. The schools, fuck the schools. The schools are not putting this information out because they've been bought off. They have a 501c3, 501c4, whatever kind of UCC agreement that they have with the corporation. Period. So we got to get away from the ideology of the school. Just go on to schools and the school's going to teach you. No, sir. That's a straight fraud, de facto fiction. It's not authentic. What it is knowing who we are, knowing who they are. So if you don't know who you are, like in the lessons, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know your nationality and your descent, you don't know your free national name, you part of the machine that's trying to take us down. The Roman machine, the German machine. You part of that. And you can't say, well, I didn't know. You can't say you didn't know, because the information is being beamed out everywhere. You can pick up your phone and get the information for the free. You can order books off Amazon right now. Pay the little, whatever it is, order books at the crib. So therefore, ignorance in law is no excuse. So we got to get away from all that spooky mystery shit. All right, about, well, we came here as slaves. Slave is not a word that was ever used for Moors. Slave comes from Slovakian. That is a descent from Europe. That is a descent from Europe. Slave was used on our people, but it is not the name of our people. We can never be slaves because slaves come from Eastern Europe. The word slave means Slovakian. It's short for Slovakian. That's European. Europeans are not Americans. Okay? That's something that I want to get across in this live video. Real talk. Spooky shit gotta die. Europeans are not Americans. So when we talking about what can we do, like I like talking about shit that could be done right now with our people that'll change shit right now. Fuck all that, later and the pastor with the prosperity lessons and all that. I ain't on that. They do what they do, trying to pacify us. Right. The solutions ain't nowhere. So fuck all that prosperity messages. You got to give people the truth. Period. You can't get them something, I want to ease you into it. Like a pastor will be like, you would ask a pastor a question and they'll be like, well, don't question the word of God. And then you would look at them like, you don't look like God, you look like you. So I'm looking like, why am I asking you something if you telling me don't question the word of God? You're not that. I'm asking you a question. But the church, the so-called church, who's not, will always try to mystify the people and be like, get us into that spooky shit, the mystery shit. Don't question the word of God. Well, then if I can't question the word of God, then why am I reading this book? And why you acting like every Sunday you giving out answers and you don't have no one-on-one questions for me? That's why you got to really start knowing and stop going by what people telling you in mystery. Because it's a mystery that only the people that got knowledge, that are Gnostics, have that information. They want to keep the people believing just like this. Just like this. They want to tell you like this right here. This is the North American continent map, right? This is the North American continent map. Look, fast facts. While Mexico was part of North America, while Mexico is part of North America, while Mexico is part of North America, the culture of Mexico is similar to that of Latin American or Southern or countries in South America. See, they try to make all these little corporations inside of the land. This is the continental land right here. You see all that? Iceland, Greenland, all of this. These are the Americas. See, Canada is part of North America. Quebec, Nova Scotia. All this is North America. But see, what Europeans have done is they try to usurp the land. See, their whole deal, Europeans, right here. The whole European ideal is to birthright theft Moors. They don't come here just to come here. They come here to take our birthright. That is what their mission is. A person of European descent, of or relating to Europe or its peoples. Europeans are not Americans. So, y'all know how they say casting spells? Casting spells, right? This is why our language is very, very, very important. Because you can cast a spell with your language without you even knowing. Without you even knowing, you can cast a spell. And you will be looking like, oh, I didn't even know I was doing that. You should have knew better. You should have knew. Because if you didn't know, you shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have said that. You should have knew what you was talking about. But see, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. If you don't know, then you don't say certain things. That's what's going on right now. Our people are talking out of their mouth, not knowing what they talking about, and they casting spells, putting Europeans in positions of assumable power. Europeans do not have power in the Americas. These are the Americas. These are the Americas. Canada. All this right here, North America. All of this is North America. Then you have Central America. Then you have South America. When the last time you looked at a map? Anybody talking crazy about anything when it comes to geography? Ask them, when is the last time you looked at a map? You feel me? When have you looked at a map? This is what they don't want our people to get in tune with, because these are the keys. These are the civilization keys that our people do not receive in schools. Period. And they are powerful because knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. This right here, you could say, is the cradle of civilization. The Yucatan. See that? You see here, Uvalde? The Bahamas, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, St. Lucia, all that right there, all that, Grenada, Trinidad. Peace to all my peoples in all the islands. Because we are the same people. We are all Moors. If you are a melanated being, if your mother and father are Moors, then you are Moor. Thanks, man. Then you are Moor. That's how it goes. And as you see, Mexico, they talking about, oh, we're going to put a wall up. Remember that bullshit they was talking about, putting a wall up between Mexico and and America? If you looked at a map recently, then you could do the science automatically. Mexico is a part of North America. So you see, but see, it's the trickery though. Because they know why people don't get taught this in school, so they use the trickery. They'd be like, okay, Mexico ain't part of North America, and these Mexicans are coming up here taking all American jobs. Now, who's telling you that? Who's telling you that? Who's telling our people that? Europeans. because Europeans are of European descent. European peoples is language and cultures. This is why this is not taught in schools nationwide. They want to do what's called a land grab. They come here. They be like, okay, you know what? We want to cut these people off. So what they do is they trick our people into working with them. Exactly. It's the Americas. All this is the Americas. This is just North American continent. And for the record, man, this is not a country. Okay? We don't live in a country. We live in a continent. This is a continent. All right? It's a continent. So look, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. And then when you looking up etymology, right? Etymology. Let's take it to the dictionary again. Let's take it to the dictionary, right? You see Europeans, right? European. Do it say white people in this definition? Did it say white people? No, it don't. You don't see white people up inside this definition. It says a native or inhabitant of Europe, a person of European descent, of or relating to Europe or its peoples. Its peoples are Europeans. Sunday out of L Islam, or share the video out. Share the video out, cause it's on. The horn didn't got sound off. The horn went off. So hopefully all you Moors blast off for like an hour. Exactly. It's Moorish. All this land right here and the land that you don't see. Really the entire world. You could say that. The entire world is ours. The entire world is Moorish. Everything. Exactly. Each state is the country. This is why. Oh, I got some intelligent Moors on here today. That's what I'm talking about. I love that though. I love my peoples, man. This is why we all gotta get this information, cause I ain't got shit but love for y'all. Nothing but love for my peoples. But it's gonna take all of us not to be under. We gonna follow. You know what I'm saying? We gonna follow Kush, or we gonna follow one of the other Moors, Taj Tariq Bey. We cannot follow anybody. We have to know. We have to know who we are, where we came from, and what we about. It's not about following. Following is for people that's like sheep. That's what the so-called church does. The church keeps people into a position of following. Following. We ain't following nobody. You're not supposed to follow nobody. You're supposed to lead. Man, woman, and child. The man and the woman are supposed to teach the children how to be upright, independent, and fearless as Moors. Because that's who we are. That's who we are. Look. When you looking up etymology, right? First off, you want to go to this word right here. Where's the evidence? People be like, man, where the evidence at, Kush? Where the evidence that we Moors at? Where's the evidence? Let's look at evidence, right? Evidence is a noun. It's a thing or things helpful in forming a conclusion or judgment. Evidence of burglary, something indicative, an outward sign. Evidence of grief. What is evidence in law? The documentary or oral statements and the material objects admissible as testimony in court of law, right? So we talking about evidence. Where is the evidence? Where is the evidence of anywhere on this land right here that you have black people? Where's your evidence? Where is your, see, this is the time to demystify all the bullshit. Where is your evidence? Because I got boatloads and other Moors have boatloads of evidence showing that we are Moors. Where is your evidence at? I got evidence showing that Moors goes back to the pyramids. I got evidence of that. So for you so-called educated people, right? Because I want us to all be on the same page. Where is your evidence? Because we're talking about logic, right? We're talking about reason. Where is your evidence that's proving your conclusion or judgment? Exactly. There is no black people. Where is your evidence of so-called black people, African Americans? Does this say Africa it say? North America continent map. Come on. We got to start using, we just really got to start using common sense, because we've been receiving pain. And you know what? To be real straight up with y'all, it's our fault. It's our fault to a degree that we've been receiving so much pain, because we went away from the fundamental keys of civilization, chasing after these fucking Europeans, chasing after what they do, going after what they think is what we supposed to do, chasing after guys that we don't know nothing about. And we left the mentality of our ancestors. We left that. We have gotten away from our ancestors, our forefathers and foremothers of civilization, who came up with everything. I got evidence of this. From Mer to More, Kemet until now. We talking about etymology, phonology, semantics, and morphology of the word more. See, we got evidence. We got evidence. We have evidence. You people that's talking that yin yang shit, you ain't got no evidence. You see, more goes all the way back. You see, to the hieroglyphics. So if this is the hieroglyphics written on the walls of the pyramids, and I'm talking about on this side of the world and on the other side of the world. So if that was happening, right? If that was happening then, and to this day, people can't even figure out how the pyramids actually got built. Why would we go against this? That our ancestors have left monuments all around the entire planet. Because they knew we was going to fall asleep. They knew we was going to fall asleep. Why y'all think we got mounds? Why y'all think we got pyramids? Why y'all think we got all these artifacts, beautiful artifacts around the globe? Because our ancestors knew we was going to go to sleep. Because time never was when man was not. They already foreseen that, because they dealt with astrology. They dealt with cosmogony. They dealt with science. They didn't just deal with, oh, I believe, in the future, our people gonna be good forever. Nah, they knew the corruption with our people. They knew the illustrious history that our people had, but they knew that we would get corrupt because we went away from our sciences, the higher self and the lower self. We went away from the science. If you're not seeking to have a balance of a higher and a lower self, you're not seeking the truth. You just not. And if your instrument, you are instrument. And if you're not trying to fine tune your instrument to play the right notes, then what the fuck you doing? Your children, they instruments. And why would you not want to fine tune your children by teaching them the real history, the real keys and fundamentals of civilization? What are you doing with your children then? You letting the school that you can admit that the school has miseducated you and me. So why would we depend on the school? We send them off at 7 o'clock in the morning, whatever time they leave for the bus stop. Why would we think that this school that was conjured up with these Europeans, Frederick T. Gates and John D. Rockefeller, why would we put our faith in them? That's madness. That's madness. It's time for the mystery to die. Drink more water. Drink more water. If you drinking, talking about this coronavirus bullshit, if you're drinking water, then especially pH balanced water, then you automatically cleansing your temple out. Drink more water, man. Balance your shit out. Balance your diet out. We gotta stop being miseducated, real shit. On some Carter G. Woodson shit. We really got to start learning real history, real science, real law. If we not learning that, then we playing ourselves. Look. So we talking about evidence. I'm presenting y'all evidence right here. This is not a country. This is a continent. I'm showing and proving evidence. Mexicans are Americans. Jamaicans are Americans. Cubans are Americans. If you from the Bahamas, you're an American. If you from Haiti, you're an American. If you from DR, you're an American. Puerto Rico, all these are Tainos, Arawaks. See, but to keep us off balance, with my brother Jamal Talib Abdullah Bey book, Are You Confused About Law? He break it down. And what does he say? We've been tricked. One of the many tricks involved in the elaborate yet simple plan for political, administrative, governmental control over North America, is convincing the people at a young age that this land, contemporary called America, is actually called the United States. You see that? This is some of the trick. To convince people at a young age. Yes, sir. Convince people at a young age that this land, contemporarily called America, is actually the United States. This does not say the United States on this entire continental map. It does not say that. But if you could get the school system to miseducate our children like they've been doing and they've done with us, then the trick can work. That's why they always try to get them young. This misrepresentation, branded misnomer of the land, as well as the false slavery paradigm, is necessary to establish quasi-territorial jurisdiction over the land, oftentimes referred to as, quote, the organic United States. The United States of America, major. The continental United States, the United States of Morocco, or simply Morocco. You see, they cooked up the term the United States of America. They cooked up these quasi-territorial terms because they, like I said earlier, they want to get quasi-jurisdiction on the land because Europeans are not Americans. You cannot forget that. What's up, really, y'all?
Hey, Daddy, I got goggles. I got swimming goggles with a nose on, and then I can't even hold my nose under the water.
All right, I'm on live right now. Go over there.
Okay.
Love you.
Okay, Daddy.
All right. Work don't never stop. You gotta talk to your babies. Hopefully, y'all talking to y'all babies while y'all under this little fake quarantine. You talking to your babies. You got to talk to your children because do not rely on the school system to teach our children shit. They ain't taught our children shit because they don't want to teach our children shit. Why do you think, as I just read, they convinced our children that this is a country? This is not a country. But see, they try to remove the karmatic debt by saying the anthem? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And it's crazy because it's in there. But they try to remove off the karmic debt by saying, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. Why y'all think it say that? They try to remove the karma off what they own, though. That's why. But they get them, they kind of like hitting them in the head at the same time, just like adults. Adults are getting hit in the head, Sultana. Adults are getting hit in the head right now on so many different levels. A gang of different levels. We got adults out here thinking as like children. So if the republic, that's why it is a republican form of government. This is not a democracy. This is not a democracy. This is not a democracy. I can't even find the joint right now, the books right now. This is not a democracy. But you got adults out here that's thinking like minors. You got adults that's out here thinking like minors. Which book? Which one you talking about? I got a gang on up here. But I'm just shooting around though. So, as you can see, this book right here, my brother Jamal, it's called Are You Confused About Law? He goes into depth with the trick of renaming the land. See, they try to usurp the land and they try to rename the land and call it the United States. Really, it's the North American continent in reality, though. See, this is to try to give them quasi-territorial jurisdiction. This is why you don't say you're a U.S. citizen, ever. You can never be a U.S. citizen. How can you be a U.S. citizen and you at home? We are nationals. Let me tell y'all this straight up, man. No sugar. We are nationals of the land. They try to get us at a young age to think that we're a citizen, to fill out a bullshit census form, and try to get us to think like, oh, this is a country and this is a democracy. Everything, they've been busting us in our heads since we was young. That's why a lot of this information, Sheena, what's up? A lot of this information, it's like kind of like, it sound like some people that's not really in it. It'll sound like, oh, that's some interesting shit, but that ain't really what I think gonna fix our problems. Whole time, this is everything that's gonna fix the problems of our people. Real shit. This ain't like I'm just on here woofing to be woofing talking to y'all. This is real shit. And everybody, every one of y'all, including myself, have to know. It can't be no, well, fam know it and he gonna speak for us. I can't speak for y'all. You can't speak for me. We all gotta collectively know this shit. And this right here is what our ancestors set up. It's the trick, though. It's the trick to go away from this and start thinking that this is a country. It's the trick. See? Look. It has already been established that the term, the quote, United States is a foreign for-profit private corporation. See that? The quote unquote United States is a foreign for-profit corporation. Now, why is that important? Why is that important right there? Why is this important? That you know that the United States is a foreign for-profit private corporation. Why is that important? Because that is letting you know that the fuckery to remove our mentality from this being our continent, this book right here, this that are you confused about law. Nah, brother Jamal, he told me that he's trying right now. He working on this new book. Bro got books though, but his new book, he working on that. And I don't know right now. I ain't talked to him in a little while. He said he working on getting some more of these printed up. But we need support though. We need support. We gotta support people that's really for the people. We gotta support people that's really for the people. We got to. Alright? Otherwise, we just gonna stay slaves. You got people that want to be slaves, and you got people that just want to serve. And then you got people that enforce and exercise Constitution, and they enforce law. You got people that's like that. You got people that's enforcing law, exercising law, like Noble Drew Ali the Prophet told us to do. Then you got people that want to be slaves to serve. Their liberty is, they don't have liberty. They got misery. Look at them. Look at their faces. Look at their faces. They look sick. They look sick because they're not enforcing and exercising law. So when you're looking at the tricks, when you start knowing what's going on from believing what's going on, then you can get somewhere. You got people that know what's going on, but they working, they look like me and y'all, but they working for the other side. Just because they look like us don't mean they for us. Real shit. Just because people look like us, they melanated sun-kissed people, they beings, that don't mean that they us though. They can be called, in law, what's called conversos. Conversos are people that are the same nationality, but they work for the other side. So a lot of these people that our people put faith in, put our faith in people who look like us, but their mission is not for us. Their mission is to work for the other side, helping out Europeans. Their mission is to help out peace and love, Sultana. Their mission is to help out the other side. They are called conversos. Look, I'm gonna give y'all a classic case, right? That dude by the name of Jesse Jackson off the top of the dome. Traitors, sellouts. Jesse Jackson. He got people to call themselves African American, right? What does African American really mean? Think about it in history. This is not Africa America. You see that? He did that in the 90s, 89, 90 or something like that. He got people to stop calling themselves American and to start calling themselves African American. There is no nation called Africa America on the map. There's not. Is there an Africa Jamaica? Is there an Africa Haiti? No, it's not. But that's the fuckery though. That is the trick. And the trick is strong. Because you see as it's going down for the foreign for profit corporation company. And another thing. Let's go here. About the president. Let's go here. What time is it? 36? Okay, we good on time. We got to get back to what our ancient ancestors, our forefathers and foremothers brought to us. This is what they brought to us, man. We got to know that the president, yes, the president is not our president. Trump, Bush, Obama, they're not our president. They are a president of what? Now this is why you have to do cross-referencing. So I encourage you, while you doing your traveling and your studying, you have to recognize that the United States, when you hear that term is a foreign for profit private corporation company and not the organic lands of a country nor the de jure government due to the fraudulent acts notably beginning with the adjournment of Congress Sine Die 1861 March and the establishment of the de facto. See, during this time, March 1861, they adjourned Sine Die. That means they walked out. They didn't have a date put on that. This is when they call their coming out party. All right. And the establishment of the de facto democracy order with the Act of 1871, the dissolved Congress, since the former began to now operate as a board of directors for the United States, Inc. See that? He's the president. Exactly, more. He's the president of a corporation. But see, we have to know timelines. We have to know dates. We have to start knowing reference points. So somebody out here talking crazy, they trying to prove their point. Peace, Chuck. Our people as a whole have to start knowing reference points. Because if you out here thinking that Trump is your president, then you obviously are incompetent when it comes to law. I'm not talking about you incompetent like you just a stupid person all around. I'm talking about lawfully, our people are incompetent. And I say that because I'm going by the facts of the miseducation. Yeah, you got to get this book, Sharon. I'm going by the facts of miseducation. Our people can come out their mouth and say that we've been miseducated, right? We can say that all day. But what you doing about it? What you doing about it? Are you doing anything about it? Or you just going to say, oh, well, we've been miseducated, so I'm just going to do what I got to do, you know what I'm saying, to make this cake. Nah, that's not fair to your children. Because if you don't know, what chance do your children got? Think about it, man. Look, the president, right? He is the chief officer of a corporation, black and white, company, board, committee, etc., generally having the main direction and administration of their concerns. Whose concern? Do it say people or do it say their? He has the concerns of the corporation company, the private corporation company. It's a private foreign for profit private corporation company. So when you hear terms like the United States, know this in your mind all the time. Because once you know, you can't say you don't know no more. It's in your head. So when you think about Trump, Bush, Obama, Kennedy, all the presidents that have been in office since Abraham Lincoln have been working for a corporation. Because you see, we go to the reference points. In 1861, it adjourned sine die. That was a coming out party. This is when they set up the fraud. So when people be like, the system. This is what they talking about when it comes to the system. The system of the jail system. The private for-profit jail system. The whole industrial system is built upon fraud. We have to know that. In order for us to do something about it, we got to know. You got to know what's going on. You can't believe what's going on. You got to know. Peace, Red. You got to know what's going on. If you don't know what's going on, then you're going to be lost in the sauce. You're going to be part of the scam. You're going to be a part of the scam. POW camps. Exactly. If you don't know, then you part of the scam. You part of the scam. You can't be like, well, I didn't know no better. You gotta know better. You have to know better. You know, in the good book. In the good book, it says, when you was a child, you thought as a child. But when you were an adult, you think and do as an adult. When you was a child, you did and you moved like a child. But to be an adult, you supposed to do what? You supposed to do away with childish things. Peace, more. As an adult, you call yourself an adult, but if you're not capable mentally to answer adult conversational questions, then you got to question yourself like, man, I need to get back in some shit. I need to get back on my shit. You got to get back on your shit. Hold up, let me put this on. You got to get back on your joint. Back on it. You got to, our people have got to get on it. We got to get back to what our ancestors did for us, which was they gave us the keys to civilization. Our ancestors gave us the keys to civilization right here. They gave us this. They gave us this. They wrote more on the temple. So answer me this. If I call you a Moor, which you are, I call you a Moor, why look at somebody calling you that as something derogatory? You know what be funny to me though? When somebody be like, man, don't call me a nigga. Don't call me a nigga, right? Don't call me a nigga. And then you be like, well, it's definitely a choice. Peace, my D. Being ignorant in today's times is definitely a choice. Big facts. So if I be like, I call you a Moor, I'll be like, peace, Moor. What up, Moor? And then you looking at me like I'm crazy, right? Like I'm out of my mind. But then you be like, well, you could call me a nigga though. Like a nigga. Or you could call me black. Or you could call me African American. Do you know that that's part of the trick? If I call you black, I'm at the same time, I'm telling you out of my mouth that you're less than nothing. You're less than nothing. You're the absence of light. That's what that means. It don't, look, our people got a bad habit of trying to make words without that we can just make words form whatever we want to form them, and that's what it's going to be. We can't do that. That violates law. That violates this right here. That violates the law of grammar. All right? We have to start calling words what they are. Exactly. I'm saying that you 3/5 of a person. So when I say that you are a color, don't think that that's a good thing, because you're not a color. Color is, look, make this perfectly clear. I'm talking about so my 2-year-old Ali can understand. All right, this is for the. I'm not talking about you ones that studied up. I know y'all studied up. I'm talking about the ones who gonna see this video later and they're gonna be like, man, what bro mean about color? Color means the absence of light. Color is the absence of light. This is why Europeans took on the term white people. Because like in your good book, you say you read your good book, right? First there was light. God said, let there be light. Let there be light. So when you saying let there be light, who you think brought the light? Who you think brought the light? Who was the first people here? It's like, man, we got to know that shit. Who was the first people on the planet? We were. What were we called? Moors. What were we called? Moors. We weren't called black people then. We only call black people now as a weapon. That weapon has been modified. That's a modified contemporary weapon. You think words ain't power? Words can cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. You spell something out. But if you use it verbally, don't think you're not casting a spell. You casting a spell verbally with your tongue. Don't think you're not. You casting a spell verbally with your tongue, because the power of the tongue is life and death. Hold up. Power of the tongue is life and death, man. Straight up. So look. That's my 2-year-old trying to see daddy. But look, have you heard of Lemurians? For sure. Yeah. Exactly. It's the light. It's the light. Because we are, what they say, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. They're talking about the light. This is why Europeans have falsely claimed the title of white people. They're not white people. Europeans actually are the black people, because they have the absence. They have the absence of the melanin to the degree of they're pale. This is why they'll be like, okay, they put movies out like Trading Places. Trading Places? Y'all put that movie out for what? Coincidence? Nah, I don't think so. Y'all done put that movie Trading Places out for coincidence. Y'all put that movie out so we could get in the mindset of, oh, Eddie Murphy on there saying that, so we could say that. They tell us all the time through movies. They tell us all the time through movies, but people just think and assume because it's a movie that it must not be really real. They tell all that shit through movies because they trying to relieve the karmic debt that they have done to Moors. Why y'all think this is out here? Kemetic means myrrh. Native Moor. Greek adaptation. We taught the Greeks. We didn't learn from Greeks. We taught Greeks. They sat at our feet. So moros means Latin. Adaptation. Moor. English. M-O-O-R. Moor. Exactly. And then when you want to go to the etymology of things, all you got to do is go to the books. You go to the books, then you look up something about Europeans, right? I told you about black. Now let me show you about black, right? What's up, Baba? You see, black is an adjective. About 1150, black. In place, bleak. See that? Burge, developed from Old English about 700. The Old English is cognate with Old High German. Block, block. Old Icelandic, blacker, black. Dun colored, and sometimes is confused with Old English, black. Shining, white, thence Old Icelandic, bleaker, pale. Is it coming together now? Whitish. You see, it's called pale. This is why European, you see that? The meaning a black person in reference to race is perhaps a translation of Spanish Negro. Probably about 1200 from the adjective for a suffix of blacken. You see that? This is around the time where Europeans caught hip to that and start to label us as black people. But in terms of facts, black means pale, shiny. You see that? This is why they say all you gotta do is put it in the book, because people ain't gonna read it. They ain't gonna read it. They ain't gonna read it. All you gotta do is put it in the book. They ain't gonna read it. They gonna go straight by what they got told instead of reading it, which is right there. See that? Pale, man. Pale. I ain't making this up. This book right here, bro, is Chambers Etymology. Dictionary Etymology. It's over 25,000 English words in this book. And that's just one of them that hit like a mega bomb. Shit hit like Voltron. And this is why Europeans, like I said in the beginning, Europeans, hold up. Europeans, let me fix this again. And let me show the people again who got it kind of like thinking it's another way. Europeans are what? Let me zoom in. Europeans here are nouns. That means they're persons. They're proper. These are proper names. A native or inhabitant of Europe. See? A person of European descent. Of or relating to Europe or its peoples, languages or cultures. So when Europeans hold up. So when you see the trick, you see how it's coming together? Europeans that are here act like they're Americans. They act like they are from this place. See, Europeans act like they're American. They try to claim the land. They try to do a quasi-territorial land grab by thinking that we dumb and we don't know. But that time right there, that shit dead. The light cannot be held back for so long. You see? So now the light is shining through, burning all the darkness up out of here. You see that? Light can't be held back but for so long, because light penetrate dark. This is why Europeans put that spell on us, and we, out of ignorance, accepted it. Can you show citizen and American definition? A citizen? Let's go. A citizen? You want to see a citizen. This is why you don't say you're a citizen. Let me ask you a question. So, since you say you an African American, some of you people be like, well, I'm an African American. You know how motherfuckers be like, I'm an African American, right? If you were African American and they say that you did an actual crime, why didn't they deport you to Africa? Why didn't they deport you back to Africa since you say you're an African American? Oh, you would be like, well, I'm an African that's living in America. No, sir. You're not an African living in America. You're an American. You're an American. See, that's the trick. Exactly. They try to change the name. They try to transliterate the name. That's why they say, well, you're an African American. Because once you accept that, you accept the brand, the misnomer. That way you fall into a de facto status, which is fraud. It's not authentic. It's not de jure. It's de facto. Yeah, same thing they did with 21 Savage. Same thing they did with Fab. Because if you come in with this mindset of, well, I'm a U.S. citizen, then they going to get down on you. This is why they can't deport you. This is why they can't deport you. They can't deport me. But what they can do, if you accept that brand, they will lock you down on your own land. Just like Martin Luther King said they was going to do. Exiled in he said our people are exiled in their own land. Because he knew he was a part of the sellout. But his conscience was eating at him, though. He knew he was a part of the sellout. That's why they don't deport us. They cannot deport us. What they can do is exile us in our own land. That means incarcerate us illegally, unlawfully in our own domicile, which is the Americas. All this right here. All this right here. All this right here. Exactly. What you expect somebody that's your enemy to teach you in school? What you expect them to do? You expect them to teach you and teach us the right thing? No, sir. Dred Scott. Look at the Dred Scott case. This is why Europeans want to give us the illusion that they're white people and we're black people. Because as long as we keep talking about we're black people, then they have sanction to be here. We are, when you tell somebody, when you call somebody white, oh, I definitely want to put this on the record. When you call somebody a white person, right? When you call somebody a white person that is a European, what you're doing is you're sanctioning them to be here. You know how people be like, man, I'm tired of these motherfuckers. I'm tired of these motherfuckers. Stop calling them white people. Stop identifying yourself as a black person, because black does not mean what you think it means lawfully. What it means is you're giving up your birthright and you're sanctioning Europeans to take your birthright and to stay here. That is the whole trick. Europeans are not here talking about racism and all that. No. Europeans, first off, Europeans were allowed. They begged us. They begged the Moors to be here in the Americas. This is why we got no history. Europeans wasn't enslaving us like that. Reefy, what up, boy? Europeans begged Moors to be here. We got to get that part. This is why Europeans be like, well, I'm a white person. See, Europeans say they white because it's a land grab. It's an identity theft. Europeans really are foreigners in America. That's why they always trying to tell Mexicans. That's why they always trying to tell Mexicans like, man, y'all Mexicans, y'all taking away all the jobs. Y'all taking away all the jobs up here. Nah, you see right here? This is the North American continent map. You see? Don't that look like Mexico is in America? Because this is the North American continent. See the trick? You see the trick? But they'll be like, yeah, we're going to put a wall up. We're going to put a wall up right here because y'all taking jobs away. Nah. Who was saying all that bullshit about Mexicans? Europeans. Europeans don't want to talk about citizenship. See? You see how it all tie in together? Europeans don't want to talk about citizenship because citizenship will go back to this right here. Citizenship was going to go back to this. If you are European, that means you're related to the continent of Europe. So if you're a European, that means you have no fucking say-so in what we do over here. You got no say-so. Nothing. Huh? This is why Europeans always try to keep the trick going of, you know what, we just gonna talk about Mexicans. And we gonna talk about so-called black people. And like they the problem. Whole time, Europeans are the problem. When it comes to citizenship. This is why they always trying to get us to be like, well, okay, you a black person. This is why they always be on the radio talking about black man, whatever, African American. That's why, because they cooked up misclassifications for our people to lock us down on our own land. Why y'all think all these motherfucking, why y'all think this right here on some common sense shit, right? Do you know that the state prisons get $30,000 per body? I don't know about what it is in y'all territory where y'all at. I'm talking about here. That's a minimum. $30,000 to lock one inmate up. 30 racks. So think about the industrial prison complex. Think about how much bread they getting off one body. It's a business. On your man Jay-Z and them shit, Reefy. Your man Jay-Z was talking about it's a business, man. It's a business. We talking about big business. Bro, if they keep you misidentifying yourself as a color, a black person, which means you are not in your proper person. You are chattel property. That means I can legally, not lawfully, I can lock you down on your own land. This is why they always telling us we black. We black. This is why on TV they be like, BET, Black and I'm Proud. They promote that black shit because if you, out of your own mouth, accept the label of black, then you're going to place yourself in color of law. In color of law, they can legally, not lawfully, treat you any kind of way they want to. Because at that point, you've declared out of your mouth that you are mentally incompetent and you have the mind of a minor. So since you have a mind of a minor, I'm going to treat you like a child. You get allowed, you get out of control, I don't like what you're talking about, I can legally, not lawfully, lock you up. And I'm going to get paid like a daycare center to keep you behind bars. Because you ain't commit a crime. You didn't commit a crime. You was talking about what you was talking about. You was traveling in your vehicle. And did you know? Look how many people get paid off bullshit, right? This is niggas be like, well, this is the system. I'm letting y'all know the system. The system is working off this shit right here. This is the system. This is the trick. See, one of the tricks is the Inquisition clearly believed that fear was the best way to achieve political ends. So if I could terrorize y'all, right? If I could terrorize y'all and I got guns on me, I could get you to be afraid of me. You're not going to question what I'm doing to you. You just so much of in a panic that you're afraid to ask questions and you pretty much gonna do what I tell you to do. Now, I get that. I get the part of people are afraid. But what removes the fear? What removes fear? What removes fear? When you know better. When you know better, it gets the fear, all that mystery shit, that shit is gone. Just like case in point, when you was doing something for the very first time, right? You didn't really know what you was doing at all. You had an idea based on what somebody told you, but you didn't never do it, and you didn't know. But see, once you find out and you start knowing you knew what to do, that's the key. That's one of the major keys you have to know. That's what this stands for right here. That G in the middle of that stands for gnosis. This is our science. This ain't no Freemasonic nothing. This is Moorish science. This is high science. So when you know what time it is, you ain't got to go by, oh boy, now fam, now he told me that Blasey Blah was over there, so I went over there on some goofy shit. Now you got sent off, and then they got down on you. Because your ass, you knew you shouldn't have did that. Or you should have known better. This is why, like they say in the good book, the Bible, once you was a child, you did as a child. You thought as a child. But once you're an adult, you're supposed to do away with childish things. Calling yourself black as an adult is a childish thing. You should not have even learned that as a child. But again, our parents didn't get taught this. Their parents ain't get taught this. Their parents ain't get taught this. You got to go back to the ancient shit, man. And it ain't even really that ancient. We talking about shit as far as 1861, 1871. This is what they did. They dissolved Congress since the former began to now operate as a board of directors for the United States Incorporation. You see that? Doing business. They're doing business as the U.S. Congress, adopting a constitution similar to that of the Constitution for the United States of America, the Republic, but in fact having no sovereign authority given to them by the organic states of the Union, therefore having no civil authority over the organic lands. So when they talk about this is the state of Illinois, this is the state of North Carolina, this is the state of New Jersey, this is the state of New York. When they say state of, that's the trick. That's the corporation. When they be like, can I see your ID? Police and shit. Can I see your ID? And they be like, or do you live here? Or, you know, the bullshit questions they be trying to run down. Because what they doing, they're trying to see where your mental competence is when it comes to law. When it comes to this law shit, when it comes to this law shit, they're giving you questions. They're called loaded questions. So they giving you questions. Don't act like that. See, our people think this right here, and I want to put this on the record too. Our people think that the people that say that they're helping us and they for us, our people as a whole don't think that those people are the ones who are actually doing the dirty work. The people that's doing the actual dirty work to our people, me and your people, our people, are the ones who look like and give off the impression like they're for the people. They not for the people though. They the ones actually working against. Case in point, that nigga Bill Gates, right? European Bill Gates. I put a post up on this shit. I think I reposted it off somebody. So how can Bill Gates, this the same dude that was talking about the world needs at a TED convention, he got caught talking some shit. He was like, I think that we need to depopulate we need to depopulate by 10%, 10 to 20%. So you talking about depopulating, taking away 10 million people, 20 million people dead, right? This the same person that you talking about. What's up, Ali? What's up, Baba?
What you doing?
I'm on live right now. What you doing? You okay? Okay, go out there. Love you. Close the door. Alright, love you. So you talking about the same person that's talking about depopulation is now talking about, oh, you know what? We gonna give our faith to Bill Gates because he funds the Negro Fund, the NAACP. Look at my face. Look at my face. This the same person that's talking about depopulation, but now he talking about, oh, I'm for the people. I'm a humanitarian. Yeah, fam. You a humanitarian, but you talking about depopulation on other occasions. And our people will go for that shit. Our people don't put that shit together like the same people that's talking about depopulation wants to give out a humanitarian vaccination for free. Let me show y'all something I have seen today. Right? Now, I don't know if y'all familiar with Hannibal, one of the greatest military strategists that there ever was, right? This is what he said. This is what he said. Ooh, this shit is strong. This is what he said. Hannibal, get familiar with Hannibal. He was one of the rawest military generals ever to live. And as a matter of fact, they still using Hannibal's strategic military weapons and strategies right now. Look. Sarah Sayudi Bay. Peace and love, more. Check it out. Oh, I told you more. It's on. It's on. It's on. This is what Hannibal said. This is his 99 truths. This is one of them that popped out in my head. A couple of them popped out today in my head that I want to show them. I want to show my peoples. When I say my peoples, I'm talking about y'all. Hannibal said, no. Now remember I told you about Bill Gates, right? Oh, I want to depopulate the planet, but then I want to be a humanitarian at the same time. Check the fuck shit. That shit that he talking about is not a new strategy. Listen to what Hannibal said. He says, no true gifts come with tax, toil, or attached. Says, beware of Greeks bearing gifts. The tale of the Trojan horse would have been well known in Hannibal's time, or as Don Corleone warned Michael, whichever one of your own lieutenants brings you the offer of peace from your enemy, he will be the traitor. Damn. And that's what's going on right now with that shit. How relevant is this quote by Hannibal today? See, they want to bring gifts. They want to be like, oh, it's free. Nah, it's all right. Just come on to down to Walgreens or come on to the hospital. or we gonna pull up in a RV that look like a medical kit, and we gonna give you a coronavirus vaccination. Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. Ain't none of that shit. Ain't none of that. You see, this is why Hannibal was so cold, because his military mind was already on some futuristic shit. See, they want to give us fruits. Yeah, stimulus checks. We your friend. We want to give you we want to give you all this free shit. Yeah. We want to give you the free shit, right? We want to pull up. We want to give you a free vaccination. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's free. Bill Gates, right? We want to give you a stimulus check. We want to give you a chip in your arm. Yeah. This is why Hannibal said, beware them Greeks bearing gifts. Because them Trojan horses, they'll pull up to you. I don't know if y'all seen the movie with Brad Pitt up in there. And they all came up in that Trojan horse. That is the only way that they could get up in that fortress. They all got up in the Trojan horse. With the movie with Brad Pitt in there, where he was playing Achilles. They all gathered up in the Trojan horse once the gates opened up, and they came as a gift. The gates opened up, the horse got up in there, and at nighttime they took over. They kicked the war off. Troy. Yeah. Troy. They got into Troy with that Trojan horse. And our people be putting faith in these same people. That's like they come bearing gifts. The pastor. The pastor like, oh, well, I'm going to give you some prosperity today on this Sunday. Yada, yada, yada. Y'all he ain't even reading the Bible the right way to you. And he know he not. They know they're not reading the Bible the right way to our people. As Don Corleone warned Michael, whichever one of your own lieutenants brings you the offer of peace from your enemy, he will be the traitor. And our people cannot get it inside their minds that we are around traitors, mercenaries, treasonous people that are out here conducting commerce, private, commercial, mercenary activity. You talking about police? Listen, these police, these priests, these pastors, they all work together. It's like a little sick little net that they work with. They're working together. Our people be putting faith, blind faith in these people though. That's the problem. Blind faith. Blind faith. How much time you gonna put? How long you gonna put blind faith in what you doing? How much? How much? See that? See that? Look. This is another Hannibal joint. A mighty Moor. Listen, he says, keep yourself far from your enemies and be on guard towards your friends. See, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. You see that? Hannibal, whether Hannibal himself originated this succinct strategy, or whether more likely it was already well-worn wisdom by the time he first took up the sword, how are we to know for certain? In the absence of its being carved into stone before Hannibal's time, the credit for this truth must go to the Carthaginian. The credit must go for this truth to the Carthaginian. You know what Carthaginians were? Carthaginians were Moors. That's us. Look in the mirror. You're going to see a Carthaginian there. Look in the mirror. You're going to see a Phoenician there. Look in the mirror. You're going to see a Chaldean there. Look in the mirror. You're going to see Saba there. Look in the mirror. You're going to see all your ancestors. They already inside your DNA. That's why Europeans, they want to be us. They envy us. They worship us. But if you don't know, then you don't know. You don't know. And that's how they going to get down to you. But are you still going by this? Are you still going by this? Are you still going by this? Hold up. Are you still going by this? Are you still thinking we're in a democracy? Are you still thinking that? The word democracy does not appear once in the Constitution. One time, this word don't appear up in there. But you still thinking that this is a democracy, though. And you still thinking that this right here is a country. You still thinking that this right here is a country, when clearly it's the North American continent map. All the way up to Iceland, Greenland, all of that. Canada, all of that. Shout out to the Caneland Moors up there in Canada. Everywhere. The USA is not what you think it is. This is a North American continent, and USA is the universal salvation of Allah. It is not USA Corporation. We got to know the difference, and it could be life and death. Real talk, it could be your life or your death, and knowing what time it really is. The US does not stand for USA. It is Universal Salvation of Allah. U.S. stands for Unum Sanctum Operations, occupation. Unum Sanctum. You have to know the difference, and you have to know now. There is no, do you see an Africa Jamaica? Do you see African Haiti? Do you see an African Dominican Republic? African Puerto Rico? Do you see an African Virgin Islands? No. So how you gonna be an African American here? Exactly. It's the hegemony. So if this is not Africa, Jamaica, why would you call yourself an African American because you live up here? Think about it, man. Think about it. We really got to start doing some deductive reasoning and some critical thinking. Because if I call you a Moor, which you clearly are, according to the pyramids, see, we got to go to the root. The root of Moor or Mer, meaning deaf India black. See this? This is what Europeans was doing. This is what a sellout was. Don't think everybody that looked like us was for us, because they wasn't. We owe the association of Moor with black and black with evil from India, where the color caste system is well known and has been in place for thousands of years. This is personified in the name Mahar, or untouchable cause of India. Needless to say, the Mahars, known as Dalits, today are attributed with being conquered by the Aryans, and made to be servant slave caste. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All the time. See, this is what. So when you say you're a black person, you're really saying you're a servant. Are you a servant? If I go somewhere, if I come in somewhere and I want to purchase something, and why would I just go? So you finna do this, right? You finna go to the store. You finna go from going in the store to get something for somebody who works there to serve you, right? So you gonna go from being a customer who's in there to get a product. Now you gonna go from the customer that's over there, so now you gonna go behind the counter and you gonna start serving people? What? You gonna start serving people? You went there to go purchase something, right? You went there to purchase something, but now you gonna go from purchasing something to go walking around the counter on your own because they told you, hey, look, I need you to work. So you finna come over here and work with us. Is you stupid? That's what you doing when you call yourself black person. When you call yourself black person, you just went from the person in charge to the servant. You went from the person in charge as a Moorish national. You went from the person in charge to walking around the counter being a servant. Are you a servant? Are you a servant? Huh? Are you a servant or are you a national? Which one is you? Figure it out fast because time is ticking. Tick, 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 tick. Time is ticking. Time don't wait for nobody because time never was. It is today what it was yesterday, and it's gonna be that in the future. Period, man. This shit is all dimensional and coincide together. That's why time never was, because it's all coinciding together as one. It's all one though. But if you got it in your mind that, oh no, what I do today ain't gonna affect tomorrow, and what happened before ain't gonna affect now, you're gonna be set yourself up for the trap. You setting yourself up for the okie doke. Exactly. You were national. You were national. Exactly. So why would we go from being in charge to start saying, oh nah, we servants? Europeans, they were brought over here as servants, as slaves, not us. Big facts. But again, if you don't want to believe the facts, believe the facts. You don't supposed to believe the facts. You supposed to know the facts, because facts are evidence of truth. But our people want to believe everything and then get sent off, get mad that we get mistreated because we out here calling ourselves something that is a slave caste system. But you want to get mad? Peace. You want to get mad? What you getting mad for? Don't get mad. Don't get mad. I just seen something from Grand Sheik Taj Tariq Bey. He said, don't get mad, get wise. Don't get mad, get wise. Yeah, we gave them refuge. We gave Europeans refuge. It's always facts over feelings. This book, this the joint by Grand Sheik Victor Taylor L. Cosmo L. This is Cosmo L joint. You know what I mean? So we got to stop calling ourselves slave caste systems. You're not black. You're not black, fam. Got like 10 minutes left. You're not black, fam. And I'm going to let one of the other Moors take over. This is on the pyramid. So when I call my brother or my sister a Moor or a Moabitess, I'm actually giving them what they are. Tamaria. See that? This is Ikupta. See that? This is Ikupta. Let one of the other Moors take off. You see, it happens that the overseer, governor, chief, etc., seem to be the common usage of the title Mer, which we now know as Moor. This term is prefixed to others in order to identify their status in a head of a particular industry or post. See this? In the 8th century AD, the Moors, i.e. natives of Mauritania in North Africa, invaded Spain. They didn't invade though. We was already traveling. And took them with them the Egyptian culture, which they preserved. Knowledge in the ancient days was centralized, i.e. it belonged to a common parent and system, i.e. the wisdom teaching or mysteries of Egypt, which is falsely said Egypt. It is really known as Hikupta, which the Greeks used to call Sophia. As such, the people of North Africa were the neighbors of the Egyptians and became the custodians of Egyptian culture, which they spread through the considerable portions of Africa, Asia Minor, and Europe. During their occupation of Spain, the Moors displayed the considerable credit, the grandeur of African culture and civilization, stolen legacy. See that? You see them symbols right there? The world is ran off that. So they telling you who they are. Moors, we it. We are it. We are it. So when you talking about anything Phoenician, when you talk about anything from the Proto-Sinaitics and you talking about hieroglyphics, guess who cooked that up? We did. Mighty Moors. Guess who cooked all that up? Mighty Moors. See that? The hieroglyphics began to take on a lettering system in the form of an upper Kemetic script known as Proto-Sinaitic or Ancient Moabite Canaanite. Ancient Moabite Canaanite? Come on, man. How much clear do it got to get spelled out? So are you a servant or are you a national? Which one is you? Which one is you? Hold up. And it was another joint. It was another joint up in here where it says this right here about pain. When it says something about pain, This is Hannibal again, talking about pain. Right? He said, oh, let me go to the one above that. Struggle and strength. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Test yourself with fire and ice, sand and sea, bile and blood before your enemies do. A near identical passage appears in the ancient Norse Viking Havamal saying of High Odin. Test yourself with fire and ice before your enemies do. See, Europeans taking our stuff again. Let me tell y'all something, man. Let me show y'all something. Everything that we do is brilliant. It's brilliant. Do y'all see, like right now, during this little fake quarantine time, how we didn't went on IG? Hannibal got murdered. They murdered Hannibal. Do you see how on IG that we can go on IG and we can recreate IG and make it DJ competitions like the RZA and Primo. They got a DJ battle off. They got live. They got like we can go on there and make a podcast within the podcast and still make it cold. Ain't nobody else doing that. That is the mentality that we have. It's in our genetic DNA. How cold we are. We just gotta unlock it. You gotta let the light shine. You got light, you better let it shine. Don't feel bad for somebody else who don't want to turn their light on. You can't wait for them. You got to turn your own light on. You can't wait for nobody to turn your light on for you. You got to turn your own light on and let that motherfucker shine. Because if you're not letting it shine, then what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? If you don't want to let your light shine because you're scared about what everybody else going to say, then what you doing? What you studying for? What are you studying for? What are you on the planet for? Why? Got to figure it out, man. So, the last joint was this right here. Pain is ever the best teacher. Pain is only weakness leaving the body. Death is only pain leaving the body. Some thrive on pain, according to Machiavelli, despite their several initial defeats at Hannibal's hands. The closer the Carthaginian approached Rome, the more resolve the Romans showed. When Hannibal invaded Italy, one sees how after 3 defeats and the death of so many generals and soldiers, Rome was still able not merely to withstand the enemy, but to win the war. All this comes from having fortified well the heart, but of the extremities made less count. See, Rome took one of Hannibal's tactics. You said, how did Hannibal get killed? Rome took one of Hannibal's tactics. One of the tactics that Rome took, like they take everything today, because our people don't know what it really is, and they going off what they believe is going off. What he did was, the Roman general went to the place where Hannibal and his warriors, they lived. So they went to the villages where they lived at, and they took the women and children. So while Hannibal and them was at war, they went around and they went to the women and the children and threatened to kill them, or if not, did kill them. So he had to withdraw because they took one of his own strategies and used it against him. That's one of the ways that the Carthaginians got defeated. For real. They told you, these European, I wouldn't say that they just some suckers, because they will plot on you because they study law. Don't think Europeans don't study law. Don't underestimate. You never, ever underestimate your opponent. Ever. I don't care what they look like, what they talking about. You never underestimate your, even if they be like, try to rock you to sleep. Like, I don't really know how to play chess like that. Yeah, all right. They get on the chessboard and annihilate your ass because they was talking that shit like they didn't know. Whole time, they knew the chessboard. So don't think these people in these positions, like these politicians, like these pastors, like these priests, these police, don't think that these people that's in positions of political de facto power don't know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They know what they doing. Don't think they don't know what they doing. That'd be a grave mistake if you think that Europeans don't know what they doing. That's why they, again, hold on to that title of white people, because white means sovereign. White means the ruler of the land. So Europeans hold on to that like they god of the land. And we get mistreated and call ourselves black. You calling yourself a color because you got told to call yourself that. Whole time you didn't know that calling yourself that politically, economically, and socially made you a servant, nothing more. Bottom of the totem pole, second class citizen. Nothing. Dead in law. That's why it says that you got a right to a nationality. That's why it says that. You have the right to a nationality. Real talk. You got the right to a nationality. But if you don't want to be hip to that, ain't nobody finna hold your hand. Ain't nobody finna hold your hand. If you don't want to own up to what you supposed to, everyone has a right to a nationality. If you don't want to own up to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, hey, you got that right. You got that choice. But don't scream out, Joe, that you got rights and all that if you don't want to learn the keys of fundamental civilization. The classes of citizenship. You have a national. You have a subject. You have a citizen. And you got a foreigner. Europeans are foreigners. They are not nationals. The trick was to get us to misidentify ourselves as U.S. citizens or black people. Do the census. Take the census test. Yeah, take that. Yeah, we good. That's a questionnaire. So I hope y'all got something from this video. Shout out to the Moors who support. Shout out to all the Moors everywhere. The mighty Moors. Told y'all, I don't want to call you black because I know you're not black because you're much more than that. That's why I don't call you black, fam. I call you Moor because you are one. Because you a chief. You feel me? Everybody want to be chief, but they don't even recognize the language of a chief. Big facts. Everybody want to be a chief, but don't even recognize chiefs use the language of a chief. Chiefs don't use language of servants. Chiefs don't use language of servants. Peace, bros. Chiefs don't use language of servants. They don't. Chiefs talk like chiefs. They don't talk like servants. But when you call yourself black, you are calling yourself a servant. You're not talking like a chief. You feel me, Sultana? Chiefs talk like chiefs. And all the Moabitises, y'all talk like Moabitises. You don't talk like a servant. You talk like a Moabitess because you are that. You a governor. You a chief. You the top of the top. The cream of the crop. So you don't talk like a servant. Europeans are our servants. You ain't that. You a chief. Right? So if you a chief, why you out here calling yourself black like you a servant? You ain't no servant. Blacks is a caste system for servants. This is why Europeans don't have no problem promoting all that black shit on BET and all that shit. Because they want us to be servants in our own land. That's why they ain't got no problem with all these dumbass TV shows. Oh, you black and you proud. I seen some little dumbass trailer on TV talking about black as fuck. Hashtag black as fuck. That shit's so goddamn ignorant. It has no legal technical signification to the phrase colored person. So are you a chief or are you a servant? Are you a chief, an empress or emperor, or are you a colored person? Which one you finna be? Which one you finna be, man? Which one you finna be? Because whole time while you figuring it out, real shit popping. Real shit popping, fake shit dropping. You better get on the right side and stop being colorable and falling for colorable law. Because if you calling yourself colorable, then you're saying your appearance is you have appearance, but in reality, you're counterfeit. You're fake. So what you gonna be? You gonna be a chief or a servant, man? Figure it out. Straight up. This the North American continent, man. Shout out to all the Mighty Moors. Everywhere. 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 This ain't nothing to do with me. This ain't got shit to do with Kush Day. This got something to do with the message for the people. Because it's going to take the people to get this shit out here and to remove the virus that stays on our land, which is Europeans who do not want to uphold the principles of the divine. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. If they don't want to abide by the principles of divine love and law, then they're a virus and they got to get exterminated. Period. Period. Even our own people. Even our own people. And I'm finna close off. Even if our own people who are Moors that choose not to abide by the 5 divine principles, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, if you choose not to stand on free national standards, that is your choice. And it has consequences. So don't think right now because you rocking that you're going to be untouchable. You going to get touched up. And that ain't no joke. You going to get touched up not by me. Maybe not by one of the other Moors. But you can't escape Mother Nature. Nigga, you can't escape Mother Nature. It's going to happen to you. So whatever that fuck shit that you putting out, all you politicians, priests, pastors that's on that bullshit, you police that's on that bullshit, whole time, no, Mother Nature ain't going to fuck around and play with you. Know that shit. Know that shit. Real talk. Peace and love to all the Moors everywhere. I ain't got nothing but love for you. I ain't got nothing but love for you. So study, study, study. Do your thing. Teach your babies Islam.